part of the political impulse of wanting to ask this question of artists is to like suss out how we define all those things.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's probably no secret how I do, but like those embedded rests or pauses could could be good for us to like demystify or
Right.
destigmatize or anyway.
Right.
So I thought about you not only because of your badass work, but
No, but I think it's important too because I'm thinking about my uh, women comrades who I don't have children, but who do, and that's a pause that many have to take. My pause was, it followed tragedy, and I couldn't make work. I mean, I feel like there are artists who that's exactly how they make work. They tap into pain and they
Mhm.
channel it and then they get it's in the work and the work is about the pain and I can't do that. I couldn't do that. I thought I need to heal from the pain and I
Yeah.
don't want to keep looking at it if it's in the work and I don't want it to be obvious if it is in the work. I mean, some of
Mm.
that's unavoidable in my process. I think with abstraction, I've been able to find a way to get whatever those feelings are into the work without it being defined or clarified. And it's a means to an end, really, because what I want is a good painting. I'm not trying to say
Mm.
this is my painting about my pain or my joy or whatever. It's a culmination now. So you get the end product. But yeah, that break I took, I needed because art was not going to be the healing um vessel for me. Therapy was,
Yeah.
working through that. So the art wasn't therapy, but and the work I was doing was specific to research, black stereotypes, racism, white racism. Um, so that was more like, let me research these facts. And then of course, as my painting evolved, I was like, let me really figure out who I am as a painter. And I realized I like the material. So what am I doing trying to create images and a narrative and trying to deal with these problems that people who love representational work do? And I realized I'm not a natural representational artist. I need to
Yeah.
get that paint on the floor, mess it up, rain it in, mess it up again. That's me. That's my process. I love that. But then I also felt that I couldn't just let it go without some kind of content. Something has to be in there. And that's when
Mhm.
I realized, Erica, by virtue of, putting that brushstroke on and maybe you've had an interesting day, that emotion is going to be in that mark.
Yeah.
And when I gave myself permission to realize that was significant, then I was free. I was like, now I can paint.
Free to make work again.
Free to make work, but also just free to make work that was free from the figure, from an
Yeah.
image, a discernible image. Yeah,
Definition on those.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
We,
yeah.
yeah.
So once I was healing, once I did, it was 5 years, good 5 years of intensive therapy. I realized I had the tools now to move forward. I can handle whatever pain, and there's been plenty more after I lost my brother, but I knew that I was also strong and I could just get back in there. And that's what I did. I started researching, getting into the abstract work versus the figurative.
Yeah.
So before there was figuration, brother dies, now I'm in abstraction, and it's just that
Yeah.
journey there. And I didn't care if I missed 9 years. I mean, I had friends whose careers were taking off, and I was watching all that happening, but I knew inside I wasn't ready to make honest work.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah,
What
yeah.
what were those conversations around? Um, I mean, I think it would be different for me to take a break, quote unquote, now, uh,
Mm-hmm.
because there's like an ecosystem around my work that I'm so grateful for that I've not always had.
The work's looking hot too.
Thank you. Likewise. I mean, it's so fun to watch because we both came in
Both, yeah,
abstraction accidentally. And so I think
right.
it's, oh, it's no secret that we're using like text or language or script or handwriting to inform it, but what you were like, from my perspective, looking at being in this world and looking at those institutions that were already a part of your ecosystem, and I'm meaning institution like the Skowhegans and all that.
Oh yeah,
What were
yeah.
the conversations with that ecosystem around you when you were, for lack of a better word, taking a break, or just like the healing process? Like, were you with your friends? Was it like, hey, y'all, back off, I need some time? Or were people like, yeah, it's cool, it'll be here? Do you remember what?
I just disappeared. I didn't even check in with them. I mean, I had my artist friends that I don't, actually most of my friends are what I call civilians. They're not even
Same.
artists.
I have
It's so
used,
funny, right?
Morgan, I have quoted you so many times on the use of the word
I
civilian.
love that.
It is so good, and it frees up the people who aren't artists to be, oh, cool. Yeah.
Right, exactly. They appreciate it and they get the fun part of it, you know?
Hmm.
So I was with them. I hung out with them the whole time. That was part of like the group that I could heal with because the art was too connected with my brother's death because we were roommates at the time and he was like my little cheerleader. And so that was just
Mm,
the pain connection. So I was just able to jump away from that, immerse myself in my non-artist world. And the rest of the world, I mean, I had the Skowhegan friends from 1993, and they were there, they were there for me, and they completely understood. It did
yeah.
get funny though, like after year 3, year 4, they're like, what's going on? And I was just too far into the non-art thing that I didn't, I think they thought I gave it all up.
Yeah.
Like I didn't want to do it anymore, which was understandable, but I didn't have answers for them. I didn't know what I was going to do or when I was going to come back.
Hmm.
Um, and it was an artist friend of mine who did a little intervention in year 9. She was like, "Come on now, she had this little
Water sign.
Right. She's like, "Look, I'm having this open studio in my apartment in Brooklyn. Just bring a painting or two. Just get used to it. Put it on the wall. It's not a gallery." So that's how, it broke the ice, thanks to her. Because I could have gone on forever, I think. But, I think by then I was probably like fearful because I think I was like 41,
Mhm.
and here I am, probably the old lady, because at that time it was so ageist. They were like plucking 20
Yeah,
something
it
kids
still
from
is.
grad school. Yeah. And they're right out of grad school. I'm like, okay, I'm toast. But I didn't care. I was like, I'm going to be the tortoise. I'm just
Yes.
going to hunker down, focus on me, not compare to everybody else around me. I'm just on my own little trajectory, so this is what I'm going to do. And I stayed relaxed. And I
Yeah.
saw my friends who were comparing themselves, who'd gone to Yale and the career still hadn't taken off. And then they
Yeah.
were like, "I give up." It's like, no, don't do that. Keep making.
Mm-mm. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Um,
when you were like, was there any private practice, like, or was there any like doodling in your therapy sketchbooks, or like, did you have a hand in like, I like to draw the ocean, so I'm going to keep doing
yeah,
that?
I kept a studio the whole time. So I would go in and paint, and the paintings just looked horrible. I remember I think it was, I don't know, I was still sending slides. It was still slides back then, and I was trying I applied for the one of those PS1 triennial things. What was it called? The Great Artist, something with great in it. Anyway,
Greater New York.
thank you. Greater New
Yeah.
York. And so I applied to that, and then I made the first cut, and they're like, "Okay, now we'd like to come do a studio visit." And this was, when I was trying to paint through that
Yeah.
pain, and they looked horrid, and I knew it, but I still had, what was his name? Fink Finkel Pearl was his name. He was, anyway. So he
Yeah. I remember the '04 and
Tom
'05.
Finkel Pearl, yeah. Yeah, it was that first one, that one, and he he walked into the studio, And I could just see he was like, whoa, this is a whole different vibe from these slides. And I knew it. And I was just like, I was just exhausted. So I'm like, if you like it, I'm in. If not. And so
Yeah.
I knew I just knew it. And I didn't really care to make it. But, looking back, I'm like, damn it, but that was just what had to happen then, you
Hmm.
know. So yeah, I kept the studio. I didn't give it up because I wanted to, at least have access to it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it wasn't an active, I didn't want to show. I didn't want to be out there.
Yeah.
And then 2007, I did the Cooper Union residency. It was a summer residency.
Yeah. We both did that. Different,
Yeah,
ways, but
yeah, different years. So that was it too. I was doing residencies to try to get back in and
yeah.
find community. And that was helpful. I was glad I got into some of those things like
Hmm.
Sharp Willentis and all of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, and that's how I met people, and it slowly just started to happen. I was like, all right, I'm just gonna I'm doing still approaching it the same way. Like I don't want to hear outside, oh, now you've made it. I'm like, I still have some
Yes.
time. For me, I just want to keep moving one step forward, as I see with your work too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And making connections, building that community.
Hmm.
Really, I like keeping active that way. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. I do think, yeah, that practice of there's no like arrival. I mean, of course we have goals and bucket list and like we
right.
celebrate those, but there's a for me, if the work isn't like interesting to me, there's not a rigor to it, and if I can't also do that and take care of my community around me, whether that's like immediately my children or my
Right.
art friends, my civilian friends, like
Right.
yeah, I think that kind of priority has been a good fit for me too.
hmm
It's hard to like put those blinders on and go, no, no, no.
It's really hard because, I just turned 60 and I'm like, am I am I really going too slow here? But it's comfortable for me, so I'm just gonna, I do have friends. If I talk to them, they know all about the market and all the dealers, and let's go over here and you should show your work. And I'm not good at that, where I have to like introduce myself to someone or push
Mhm.
myself in a way like, "Hi, check out my work." I'm not good. And I've been lucky enough that things just come to me and I don't have to get out there and hustle. Of course, I'm hustling in my own way, but
Your steady practice. I love the tortoise
yes,
metaphor.
I'm
It's so good.
totally the tortoise, and that has helped me to just embrace like
Yeah.
Erica just and 60 is still young, like I've been hanging out lately with a lot of
Yes.
women in their late 70s and 80s, and I'm learning.
Raymond, yeah, Raymond Saunders is 90 right now. I don't think he's died.
Right.
I
Right.
mean,
You know,
so
e-
yeah,
we can learn from them. We learn a lot. I learn about life and aging and career. And, there are these artists who have had, I thought, amazing careers, but you might talk to them and they're like, no, it really didn't go the way that it looks. And it's just nice to hear the
yeah,
honesty there and that everybody has these struggles.
yeah.
Even the ones who seem like art stars. You asked if I
If you'd
ever
ever thought of
wanted to,
quitting,
yes, which is all the time.
yes.
But yeah, and
And the second
I
was
would
if you, yeah, what might you be doing if you weren't
I
doing?
was a government major in college.
Mm,
Yes, and my concentration was public policy. So I was on my way to be a lawyer, maybe in the social justice realm, something
yeah.
like that. I was about to take my LSATs, and then I went to Paris. I took a little painting class, and that was it for me. I changed my whole career focus, much to the chagrin of my parents, but they got over it and supported me. But that was
Amazing.
really where I was going. It was history or public. I loved that.
Yeah.
And then as a child, I thought I would be a scientist because I loved birds and bugs, and I would go in the woods and study them, right? So
Mm,
I wanted to be an entomologist or an ornithologist. as a child,
I mean, you see those through lines, the entomology
right?
with bug, the beetle like iridescence, and
Yes,
some of the
yes,
iridescent like pigments and colors that you use, and even
exactly.
just observation.
Yeah, I mean, nature is my church. Like, I'll look at those beetles or dragonflies and all those beautiful colors, or bird colors, or saltwater fish colors. It all comes back. It's all
Yeah.
in the work and how I approach them.